Good morning, dear friend. The sky is still tinted with the soft hues of dawn, and the world has yet to fully awaken. There is a sacred stillness to this early hour, a pause between night and day, where everything seems to hold its breath. The light has not yet flooded the room, but it brushes gently against the horizon, as if heaven itself is preparing to whisper. This moment, this quiet stretch before the demands of the day, has always carried a kind of holy invitation, not loud, not urgent, but deeply personal. Perhaps, as you listen, your heart is carrying more than words can say. Maybe sleep was thin last night, and your thoughts ran in circles. Maybe your soul is heavy with questions that have gone unanswered. I once spoke with a woman who had just buried her husband after a long, painful illness.
Dude.
Her children were grown and far away. She told me that the hardest part was not the grief, but the silence that followed. The kind of silence that made her question if God still heard her. She still prayed, still lit a candle every morning, but she said it felt like her voice got lost in the vastness between her and heaven. I saw in her eyes what many of us have carried at some point. The quiet ache of feeling forgotten, even when we know, in faith, that we are not. Maybe your situation is different, but the feeling is familiar. Whether it is the loss of a loved one, the fear of an uncertain future, or the weight of carrying too much alone, pain has a way of isolating us. It convinces us we are the only ones walking through the dark. But I want to remind you gently, especially now in this first light of day, that you are not alone. That very silence you feel might be the exact place where God is drawing closest. This is the beginning of something deeper, not just another morning, not just another routine prayer, but a sacred journey, a journey into the presence of the Holy Spirit, who does not require your perfection or your performance, only your permission. You do not need the right words. You only need a willing heart. This is where it begins. Not with strength, but with surrender. Not with answers, but with the honesty of your need. Prayer is not a formula. It is not reserved for those who have it all together. It is a conversation, a leaning in, a cry from the soul that believes, even when it is trembling, that God is still listening, that He sees what others cannot, that He remembers what you have forgotten, that He will finish what He started. So wherever you are, sitting alone in your kitchen, driving before sunrise, or listening quietly in a room that holds more memories than voices, let this be your moment, not to strive, but to settle, not to perform, but to receive. The presence of God meets us not when we are loud, but when we are real. You are not here by accident. You are here because your heart is being called, and heaven is already near. Let us begin this sacred conversation together, not with fear, not with formality, but with the deep assurance that the one who formed the morning also formed your soul, and He is waiting to meet with you now. Dear Heavenly Father, I come before you in this early hour carrying the weight I could not lay down through the night. I do not come with polished words or steady strength. I come as I am, tired in body, restless in mind, and quiet in spirit. The morning has arrived, but inside me there is still darkness that has not yet lifted. I feel the dryness of a long season, the kind that leaves the soul cracked and aching, unsure if rain will ever come again. I am here because I need you, not because I feel close, but because I cannot pretend that I am whole without you. Father, You see what I carry before I name it. You know the fear that rises before I open my eyes, the thoughts that repeat themselves before I speak to anyone, the questions that sit heavy in my chest. Some of them I have prayed about before, again and again, and the answers did not come the way I hoped. Over time, hope grew tired. Faith grew quiet. I kept moving, kept functioning. But something within me withdrew. I confess that I have learned how to survive without feeling, how to believe without expectation, how to pray without listening. This morning, I bring that truth into your presence without hiding it. I do not ask you to rush this moment. I am not asking for noise or sudden relief. I am asking you to meet me here in the wilderness of my own heart, where my soul feels like dry ground beneath a silent sky. I ask you to draw near, where I feel distant from joy, distant from confidence, distant even from myself. I ask you to stand with me. I am not strong right now, but I am present. I am not certain, but I am willing. I am not full of faith, but I am still reaching. Father, I admit that part of me is afraid to hope again. Afraid that if I expect you to move, the disappointment will cut deeper. Afraid that if I open what I have closed, the pain will return. Yet even in that fear, I sense something pulling me toward you. A quiet knowing that this dryness is not the end, that this silence is not abandonment. Teach me to trust you here, not after things improve, not once I feel better, but now, in this unpolished moment. I place before you the exhaustion I have learned to ignore, the grief I have learned to carry silently, the pressure of trying to hold everything together. When I feel like I am slowly coming apart, I stop pretending that I am fine. I stop measuring myself by how well I endure. I let myself be seen by you without defense. If you are close, help me notice. If you are speaking, help me listen. If you are waiting, help me remain. As this day begins, I do not ask you to remove me from the wilderness yet. I ask you to walk with me in it. Let this place of emptiness become the place where dependence is reborn. Let this early hour become the ground where trust takes root again. Quietly, slowly, honestly. I am here, Father. I have shown up with nothing to offer but my need and my presence. Stay with me as the morning unfolds. Lord, I am still here. The room is still quiet, and the sun has yet to fully rise. But something in me has stirred since I last opened my heart to you. I remain in this place not out of routine, but because I am desperate to know you are near. What I offered earlier was the truth of my emptiness, the dry places that I could no longer ignore. But now, something deeper is rising, a cry, not just of need, but of longing. A cry I can no longer hold back. It is not polished, not rehearsed. It is raw and loud within me, even if my voice barely whispers. I need you, and I need you now. God, this ache inside has grown louder than the silence around me. It is not the kind of ache that passes with sleep or distraction. It is the ache of a soul waiting for you in the shadows, longing for morning light, but unsure when it will come. I do not want to pretend anymore. I do not want to go through another day with quiet desperation, hidden under smiles and responsibilities. I want you, not just the comfort of your promises, not just answers to my questions. I want you, your presence, your voice, your touch on the places that feel forgotten. I remember moments when prayer felt effortless, when faith was easy, and your nearness felt like sunlight on my face. I remember when I believed without fear and trusted without question. But somewhere along the way, that confidence faded, pain crept in, delays stretched longer than I imagined. And now I find myself reaching again, not with certainty, but with insistence. This cry, Lord, is not just asking for blessing. It is asking for you. I am no longer satisfied with safe distance. I want to be found in your presence. Even if I am still surrounded by confusion, there are no guarantees in this life, but I am clinging to what I do know. I know you have not changed. I know you are still the God who sees and hears, even when I cannot see or hear you. I know that you are moved by truth, not performance. And that brokenness has never been a barrier to your compassion. So I am bringing my heart to you exactly as it is, shaking in places, numb in others, but still choosing to reach upward. You said in your word that those who wait for you will renew their strength. I do not feel strong yet. I feel small and unsure, but I am waiting, not passively. Not with arms crossed in frustration, but with a heart laid bare. I am waiting with expectation, even if it trembles. I am waiting because somewhere deep inside, I still believe that you will meet me here, and not just to relieve pain, but to reveal yourself again. God, I am tired of depending on my own voice. My prayers have often been filled with worry more than worship, questions more than trust. But now I want to learn a new way. Teach me how to cry out without fear of being ignored. Teach me how to weep without shame, to hunger without guilt, to yearn without restraint. You are not a distant judge. You are a present Father. And even if I cannot see you, I will call to you like a child in the dark, because I believe you are near even now. I am learning that faith does not always look like confidence. Sometimes it looks like a whisper in the night. Sometimes it sounds like a voice cracking under the weight of grief. Sometimes it is just showing up, again and again, refusing to walk away from the silence. And so I cry out, not with the strength of answers, but with the strength of surrender. I will not pretend I am okay. I will not pretend I do not need more. I need you to fill what is empty, to speak into what is confused, to reach what feels unreachable. There are parts of me I have closed off, places I stopped inviting you into, because I grew weary of disappointment. But this morning, I open the door again. I invite you into the memories I avoid, the wounds I have named but never healed, the dreams I buried quietly. I bring it all not because I am brave, but because I am done hiding. If you are the God who meets those in the wilderness, then meet me here. I do not ask for signs or wonders. I ask for you. I ask for your nearness to settle over me, like the sky settling into morning. Let the air around me hold the weight of your peace. Let my spirit begin to breathe again, where it has held its breath for too long. I am not here for comfort alone. I am here for communion. I do not want answers more than I want your voice. I do not want escape more than I want your presence. Let every cry become an offering, every ache a prayer. Lord, teach me how to stay in this place long enough to be changed. Teach me not to rush past the ache, not to numb the need, not to settle for surface peace. Let my cry become clarity. Let it break something open that has been frozen too long. Let it reach heaven not because it is loud, but because it is honest. I believe you hear even the prayers that never make it past the lips. So I bring you not only my words, but my silence, my groaning, my longing. I am here, not because I am strong, but because I trust you are. I am still crying out because you have not told me to stop. I am still reaching because you are worth reaching for. You are not moved by perfection, but by persistence. You are not drawn by strength, but by surrender. And I offer both. I offer what I have, this voice, this ache, this fragile hope. I offer it all because I believe something holy happens when a soul refuses to give up. So here I am, still speaking. Come on. Still aching, still believing that you are listening. Father, I am still here, and something is different. The cry has quieted, not because the need is gone, but because something has begun to shift within me. My soul is still tender, still waiting, still open, but no longer straining in desperation. The ache is still there, but now it rests beside a quiet awareness that you have drawn near. I cannot explain it fully. There are no lights flashing, no voice from the clouds, but there is a stillness that feels like a whisper, a calm that did not come from within me. It is as if something holy has begun to settle across the surface of my heart, not forcefully, but gently, like oil being poured drop by drop. Lord, you are not loud, you are not abrupt, you do not crash in or demand attention. You enter softly, like light spreading slowly across the sky before the sun rises. And I begin to understand that your nearness is not always announced by emotion or sound. Sometimes it simply arrives, like breath returning after a long exhale. It fills what was hollow. It quiets what was spinning. It comforts without explanation. I did not earn this. I did not find the right formula or say the perfect words. I simply stayed. I did not leave. And you came. There is something sacred about this moment. Not because everything around me has changed, but because something inside me is no longer resisting. I am not trying to figure out what comes next. I am not reaching for clarity, as if it will save me. I am simply receiving the stillness you bring, receiving the peace that does not depend on circumstances. It does not make everything okay, but it makes space for rest, for breath, for awareness. God, what you are doing right now is deeper than comfort. You are not just soothing emotions. You are restoring something at the core of who I am. I feel you pouring into places I did not know were empty, into the weariness I tried to dismiss, into the doubts I never dared speak aloud, into the corners of my heart where I stored quiet disappointments. You are filling what I thought I had to live without, not with noise or energy or answers, but with presence. And presence changes everything. I do not need you to be dramatic. I do not need you to make it all better instantly. I need you to remain, to keep pouring at this pace, slow, steady, holy, like rain on dry soil. I feel it absorbing. I feel my spirit receiving what it could not hold before, not because I became stronger, but because I finally became soft enough to receive. You are not forcing anything. You are not rushing me. You are simply here, and you are enough. Father, I ask you to teach me how to recognize this kind of closeness, the kind that does not shout, the kind that does not demand, the kind that simply is. I do not want to miss you, because I was waiting for something louder. I do not want to overlook what is real, because it does not feel dramatic. If you are in the stillness, let me stay here. If you are in the quiet, help me trust that it is not emptiness but fullness in disguise. You are pouring not only peace but also healing. Healing that does not come in flashes but in layers. It settles gently over old wounds. It does not tear open. It covers. It protects. It softens what was hardened. I can feel you tending to the parts of me that have been braced for disappointment. The parts that stopped hoping because hope felt dangerous. You are restoring the capacity to hope again, slowly, without pressure. Called just enough for this moment. Just enough for breath to return without fear. This kind of healing is unfamiliar, but it feels like truth. It feels like the way love should feel, steady, kind, unwavering. I realize now that healing is not always about removing pain. Sometimes it is about being able to sit with it without being undone. Sometimes it is the gift of not being alone in the places that hurt. And that is what you are offering me now. Not escape, not explanation, but presence. Lord, I confess that I have looked for you in the spectacular and missed you in the slow. I have measured spiritual moments by their intensity and overlooked the ones that came like a whisper. But this steady pouring feels more honest, more lasting. I do not feel overwhelmed. I feel seen. And that is more healing than anything I asked for before. I bring you now the places I did not know needed healing, the spaces I have ignored because they seemed too small to matter or too old to be revisited. You care about them all. You are not rushed. You are not impatient with my process. You pour without hesitation, without resentment, without holding back. You know how much I can receive, and you are not offended by how slowly I open. You simply keep pouring. Let this pouring continue. Father, let it reach into the disappointments I did not admit. Let it flow into the memories that still sting. Let it touch the roles I play in front of others and the identity I wrestle with when I am alone. You are healing me by presence, not pressure. By love, not lectures. By grace, not expectation. And in this gentle pouring, I feel more whole than I have in a long time. I did not expect this kind of stillness to carry such weight. But here I am, no longer striving, no longer reaching, simply being. And in this being, you are meeting me. You are not asking me to understand. You are asking me to receive. So I open my hands. I quiet my mind. I let my heart remain soft, and I ask only this: stay near. Keep pouring. Let this be enough for now. Let this be the beginning of trust without demand, love without fear, presence without performance. You are here, Lord, and because you are here, I no longer need to search for what I already hold. I will not rush ahead. I will not pull away. I will rest in this gentle pouring. I will allow it to find every place in me that has waited for water, every dry field, every quiet ache, every unspoken need. This is not the end of the journey. It is the beginning of healing that does not announce itself, but transforms everything it touches. So I remain here, open, quiet, and willing to receive all that you are, exactly as you choose to give it. Father, What you began in stillness continues to unfold within me, like light widening across a quiet field. I did not expect the silence to hold so much comfort, but it has become a sanctuary. You are not only near, you are tending. And as I remain in this holy quiet, I sense you reaching deeper now, not just to calm the surface, but to touch the places that have been quietly hurting for longer than I admitted. I have grown used to moving past them. I buried them beneath busy days and careful words, but they are not hidden from you. And now, you are uncovering them not to expose me, but to heal me. God, I feel your oil being poured in ways I cannot explain. Not loud, not visible, but unmistakable. Love. There is a warmth rising in places that once felt numb. There is a softening in the parts of me that have been guarded for too long. It is not an overwhelming wave. It is a steady flow, intentional and kind, searching out the cracks and pouring gently until they no longer sting. This is not the kind of healing I asked for in the past. It is more beautiful, more lasting. It does not erase what happened. It redeems it. You are not avoiding my pain. You are stepping into it. Where I have held back tears, you are giving me permission to weep. Where I have worn strength like armor, you are inviting me to be unguarded. And somehow, this letting go is not weakness. It is worship. This release, this surrender, is where the real healing begins. Not in pretending I am unshaken, but in trusting you with what shakes me. I bring you the wounds I have grown accustomed to, the old betrayals I stopped speaking about, the words that were said over me that I claimed no longer mattered, but still echo when I am alone. The shame I carry like a shadow, following even my brightest days. I bring it not with pride, not with control, but with open hands. I do not want to manage my pain anymore. I want to be healed. Lord, your presence is doing what years of striving could not. You are not erasing the memories. You are redeeming them. You are not demanding I forget. You are helping me remember differently. What once only reminded me of loss now becomes a place of encounter. What once held shame now becomes a testimony of grace. You are not asking me to hide what hurt. You are teaching me how to walk with it differently, not as a prisoner, but as someone being set free. You are healing my thoughts, the patterns that looped in fear, the assumptions shaped by disappointment, the lies that slipped in quietly and made themselves at home. You are replacing them not with empty affirmations, but with truth spoken in love. You remind me I am not what I have lost. I am not what I failed to do. I am not the worst moment of my story. I am yours, and you have never flinched at the sight of my brokenness. Even now, you are restoring my ability to trust, not just in you, but in others. I had closed the door to connection in some areas, telling myself it was safer this way. But you are showing me that healing also means risking again, opening again. Called believing that love is still possible, even after pain, that I can be known and still be safe, that I can give and not be emptied. You are restoring not just my heart, but my capacity to live from it again. There are layers to this work you are doing. Some are immediate, like walls falling. Others are slow, like seeds being planted. And I do not need to control the pace. I simply need to keep showing up, to keep letting you in. You know what I am ready for. You know what still needs time. And you are not impatient. You are not frustrated by how long it has taken. You are simply here, oil in hand, heart steady, voice kind. Let this healing continue, Lord, not only in the places I can name, but in the ones I cannot yet touch. Go into the memories that still tighten my chest, the moments I downplay, because I do not want to revisit them. Let your oil meet me there, not to force resolution, but to remind me that I was never alone, that even in my worst pain, you were near, grieving with me, protecting what could have been destroyed. You did not leave me there. You have always been leading me here. You are healing more than pain. You are restoring joy. Joy that is not naive. Joy that does not deny hardship. Joy that lives alongside sorrow and still sings. It is rising slowly, like the first hint of color after a long night. I did not know how much I missed it until I felt it again. I do not need it to be loud. I just need it to be real. And this joy is real, quiet, steady, sacred. You are also healing my body, not just physically, but emotionally.
Pooh!
The tension I carry, the fatigue I normalize, the weariness I blame on schedule, but no runs deeper. Let your healing touch my breath, my rest, my energy. Let it remind me I am allowed to slow down. I am allowed to care for what I often ignore. Let healing become a way of life, not a single moment, but a continual restoration of what has been worn thin. You are healing my view of myself. Where I saw failure, you see resilience. Where I saw damage, you see worth. Where I wanted to hide, you call me forward. You speak to the parts of me I thought were disqualified and call them chosen. You speak to the weary places and declare them beloved. You are not intimidated by what I carry. You are committed to carrying it with me, one piece at a time. So I yield. Father, I let go of timelines. I let go of how I thought healing would look. I stopped comparing my process to someone else's. I stopped demanding proof and simply rest in presence. This is holy ground, not because everything is fixed, but because you are here and you are working. I trust you with what I cannot fix. I trust you with what still aches. I trust you with what I do not yet understand, because you have proven, even in this quiet morning, that healing is not an idea, it is a person. And you are that person. Continue to pour your oil into every part of me that needs your touch. Not hurried, not loud, just true, just faithful. Let it reach places even I forgot were wounded. Let it cleanse. Let it soften. Let it restore. Let it remind me that healing is not weakness. It is worship. It is what happens when love is allowed to stay long enough to mend what was broken. And I will let you stay. I will keep making room for the slow work of grace. Because this oil is not only restoring me, it is reminding me who I am. Lord, as you continue to pour into me with such patience and care, I feel something quiet rising within me. It is not loud or urgent, but it is steady. It feels like awareness, like a soft unfolding of vision, not with my eyes, but with something deeper. It is as though you are not only healing my wounds, but also awakening a new way to see. I sense you inviting me to walk with more intention, to move through this day not just healed, but aware. You are calling me to listen before I respond, to pause before I proceed, to discern not out of fear, but out of love. Father, I confess that discernment has often felt complicated. I have confused it with suspicion, with hesitation, with second-guessing myself. But what you are showing me now is that discernment is not about fear or doubt. It is about knowing your voice, trusting your timing, and choosing to move at the pace of peace. It is not about controlling outcomes. It is about walking with you step by step, even when the path is not fully clear. You are teaching me to recognize the gentle cues of your spirit, the restlessness that signals misalignment, the peace that affirms direction, the quiet restraint that tells me to wait. I used to think I had to force clarity, that I had to analyze every option until I found the right one. But you are showing me that clarity often comes not from effort, but from presence, from stillness, from remaining close to you until the right step becomes obvious. Lord, help me not to rush. Not everything that looks urgent is important. Not every opportunity is an assignment. Teach me to ask not only if something is good, but if it is yours. Give me the courage to walk away from what seems impressive. If it is not anointed, give me the humility to embrace what seems small. If it is where you are moving, I do not want to follow what shines. I want to follow what aligns with your heart, with your will, with your peace. There are choices ahead of me, and I feel their weight. Conversations I need to have, decisions I cannot avoid, paths that require direction. And I do not want to rely on instinct alone. I want to be led not by emotion, not by pressure, not even by logic alone, but by your spirit. Teach me how to sense the undercurrent of what is really happening. Help me to hear what is being said underneath the words. Help me to perceive where you are leading, even when it is not obvious. Father, I ask for a discernment that is not shaken by noise. Let it be rooted in the truth of your word. Let it rise from time spent with you. Let it be tested by peace, not fear. I know that discernment grows in quiet places, in hidden moments, in the slow rhythm of trust. I do not expect to have it all figured out, but I do believe that if I stay close to you, I will recognize your movement, even in small things. You are showing me that discernment is also protection. It guards my heart from stepping into places I am not meant to go. It shields me from being drained by conversations that are not mine to carry. It keeps me anchored when chaos tries to pull me in different directions. Lord, I ask you to train my spirit to listen deeply, not just to words, but to the tone behind them, not just to outcomes, but to origins. Help me to know what is truly from you, and what only carries the appearance of truth. I ask for discernment in how I spend my time. Teach me to prioritize what matters most, not what demands the most attention. Help me recognize the difference between urgency and obedience. Let me be quick to say yes when you are moving, and just as quick to say no when something pulls me away from your presence. I do not want to chase opportunities that distract me from intimacy. I do not want to be busy and miss what is holy. Give me discernment in relationships. Help me to see people as you see them, not just through their words or actions, but through their worth. Help me to invest wisely, to listen compassionately, and to step back when needed without guilt. Let me recognize when to speak and when to be silent, when to offer truth and when to simply be present, when to stay and when to let go. I want to love well, without losing the sensitivity of your spirit. Lord, I ask for discernment in my own thoughts. Sometimes the greatest deception comes from within thoughts that sound familiar, but are rooted in fear or pride. Help me to sort them. Help me to identify what is truth and what is assumption, what is conviction and what is condemnation, what is wisdom and what is worry in disguise. I want my mind to become a place where truth feels at home. You are not rushing me. You are walking with me. So I ask you to slow me down where I am moving ahead of you, to nudge me forward where I have hesitated too long, to center me when I am pulled in too many directions. Let discernment be like a compass within me, not pointing to outcomes, but always pointing back to you, even when I do not know what to do. If I know how to stay near, I will not be lost. I believe that your spirit lives within me, and where your spirit is, there is clarity. Not always certainty about the future, but clarity about the next right step. Teach me to walk with confidence, not because I know everything, but because I know you are near. Teach me to move with humility, not because I am unsure, but because I trust your wisdom more than mine. Let discernment become my posture, not just a moment of decision, but a way of living. Lord, keep training my senses. Let time with you sharpen my awareness. Let scripture illuminate my path. Let quiet prayer become the ground where discernment grows strong. I do not need to be loud to be clear. I do not need to be fast to be faithful. You are not in the rush. You are in the whisper, and I want to live in tune with that whisper. Let discernment protect what you are doing in me. Let it guard the healing that has begun. Let it shield the joy that is returning. Let it preserve the peace that is taking root. I do not want to lose what I have received by moving ahead without wisdom. Let every choice honor the work you have done in secret. Let every yes and no come from a place of listening, not reacting. As a cold, I choose now to stay attentive, to stay present, to listen before deciding, to wait before acting, not out of fear, but out of trust. Because if you are guiding, then I am not walking in darkness. Even if the way ahead is unknown, I am not without light. Your spirit is my teacher. Your voice is my guide, and your presence is my anchor. Keep leading me this way, one quiet step at a time. Father, as I continue walking with you in the quiet of this morning, something deeper is stirring beneath the surface. I have asked you to guide me, to give me discernment, to teach me how to listen and move wisely through this day. But now, I realize there is something more foundational you are gently drawing me back to. Beneath all the questions I carry, beneath the decisions I face and the desires I name, you are calling me to remember the one thing that anchors everything else: your gospel, your finished work, the grace that still holds me when everything else feels uncertain. Lord, I admit how easily I drift. Even when I begin in your presence, I can still fall into the patterns of performance, measuring my worth by how much I accomplish, how well I manage, how faithfully I respond. But you are reminding me that I was never called to carry the weight of my own righteousness. I was never asked to earn what was already given. You did not rescue me so I could return to striving. You rescued me so I could rest in what is already complete. The cross is not behind me as a memory. It is beneath me as a foundation. You are not asking me to build something you have already finished. You are asking me to live from it, to stand on it, to breathe with the confidence that nothing I do today can add to or take away from what you have already done. Every good work is a response to love, not a requirement to be loved. Every act of obedience flows from grace, not for it. God, re-anchor me now in the truth I have known, but too often overlooked. Let me see again that your gospel is not just the beginning of faith. It is the center, the core, the steady place I return to when all other ground feels unstable. Let this truth settle back into my spirit, like breath returning to tired lungs. Let it remind me that I am not defined by success or failure, by strength or weakness, but by what you have already declared over me: forgiven, redeemed, chosen, healed. There are days when I feel like I am doing well, and pride creeps in quietly. And there are days when I fall short, and shame speaks louder than truth. But both pride and shame are liars. They twist what is already settled. The truth is not found in what I feel, but in what you have spoken. I belong to you, not because I have done everything right, but because Jesus did. That is my confidence. That is my freedom. That is the song I return to when every other voice grows loud. Father, help me to remember that even my best efforts are not the root of my security. Let me not place my identity in ministry, in results, in being seen or celebrated. Let me not seek peace in things that shift with the wind. My peace is in Christ. My joy is in being found in Him. My value was settled the moment He said, "It is finished." I do not have to prove myself today. I just need to remain in the one who proved everything on my behalf. There is relief in this, Lord, a kind of exhale my soul did not know it needed. I do not have to hold myself together. You hold me. I do not have to fix what is broken on my own. You are the healer. I do not have to fear tomorrow. You are already in it. And this gospel, the story of your relentless love, was never meant to be complicated. It was meant to be received, over and over, until it becomes the rhythm of my days. So I choose now to come back to the center, to let everything else fall into place around this one truth, that Jesus is enough, that I am not lacking, that the most important thing about today has already been decided. I am yours. Nothing I do can make you love me more. Nothing I fear can separate me from your hand. I am safe in the finished work of Christ. Even the tasks ahead of me today are different when I see them through this lens. They are no longer burdens to carry alone, but opportunities to live out what you have already placed within me. Every conversation becomes a chance to reflect the grace I have received. Every decision becomes a step of trust, not performance. Every moment becomes a reminder that I am already seated in heavenly places, already part of a kingdom that cannot be shaken. Lord, I ask you to protect this clarity. Let it not fade as the noise of the day increases. Let it not be buried under pressure or distraction. Let it stay close, like a steady voice in the background, reminding me that I am anchored in something eternal. If I succeed today, it is because you are with me. If I struggle, it does not change my place in you. My success is not my identity. My failure is not my disqualification. I am hidden in Christ, and that will always be enough. When I am tempted to perform for approval, remind me I am already accepted. When I am tempted to shrink in shame, remind me I am already cleansed. When I am tempted to compare or compete, remind me there is room at the table for all of us. There is no scarcity in your grace, no competition for your love. I do not have to grasp. I simply need to remain. I also ask that you help me extend this same grace to others. Let the gospel not just anchor how I see myself, but how I see those around me. Let me be quick to forgive, slow to judge, eager to love. Let me carry mercy into conversations, patience into tensions, compassion into misunderstandings. If I am truly grounded in your gospel, it will show not only in my words, but in my posture, in my tone, in my silence, in my presence. God, I surrender the subtle pressures I place on myself, the pressure to impress, to get it all right, to never falter. I let go of the expectation that I must always be strong. You never asked me for that. You asked me to come, to trust, to follow. And that is what I am choosing again right now. I am choosing to live from what you have done, not from what I fear I lack. I am choosing to stay grounded in grace, not tangled in striving. Let this become my rhythm, not just for this morning, but for the whole of my life, that I begin and end each day rooted in the gospel, that I return to it in my thoughts, in my emotions, in my actions, that it becomes the filter through which I see myself and the world around me. Not as one trying to earn a place, but as one already seated in love. You have already made the way. You have already spoken the verdict. You have already paid the price. And all you ask of me is to receive again what has always been true. I am yours. I am held. I am enough not because of who I am, but because of who you are in me. Let this be the truth I carry into everything that comes next. Let this be the anchor that holds, no matter what the winds of this day may bring. Father, as I remain in this place of stillness, anchored in the truth of your gospel, I begin to sense you shifting my heart once more. You have steadied me. You have spoken identity where fear once echoed, and now I feel you calling me forward, not away from your presence, but deeper into it, expressed through action. I can feel the gentle weight of responsibility returning, but it no longer feels heavy. It feels holy. You are not sending me out from you. You are sending me with you. This is not the end of our conversation. It is the beginning of a walk with purpose. Lord, I ask that you would anoint me now, not just to receive but to carry, to step into this day with the oil of your presence upon every part of me. Let it touch the way I think, the way I speak, the way I respond to the world around me. Let it mark my moments, not just the ones that seem important, but even the smallest ones. Let my ordinary be touched with the eternal. Not because I am doing something spectacular, but because you are with me in all of it. I do not want to enter this day as someone who simply endures. I want to enter it as someone who brings light. You have filled me, not only to heal me, but to send me, to make me a carrier of your peace, your wisdom, your grace, not in grand gestures, but in quiet consistency. In kindness where frustration wants to rise, in gentleness where tension threatens, in boldness where truth must be spoken. I do not step forward on my own strength. I step forward covered in your anointing. God, help me to recognize that my assignments today are not limited to my calendar. The person who crosses my path unexpectedly may be the very reason you positioned me here. The interruption I might be tempted to resist could be the invitation you are extending. Give me eyes to see as you see. Let me walk slowly enough to notice. Let me be present enough to respond. Anoint my words. Father, let them not be careless. Let them not be rushed. Let them carry life. Let them reflect the grace I have received. Whether I speak to many or just one, let my tone match your heart. Let my language be marked with compassion. Let my silence be filled with wisdom. And when I do not know what to say, let my presence speak what words cannot. Anoint my hands, Lord. Let them serve without striving. Let them build what honors you. Let them comfort those in need and remain open to give, even when I feel empty. You are the one who multiplies what is surrendered. You are the one who takes small offerings and feeds multitudes. If all I have today is a simple task, let it be done with excellence. If all I carry is a small kindness, let it carry eternal weight. Anoint my thoughts. God, let them remain aligned with truth. Let them not wander into fear or drift into comparison. When doubt whispers, speak louder. When insecurity creeps in, silence it with your reminder of who I am in you. Let my mind stay clear, not because I have every answer, but because I trust the one who walks with me through every unknown. I ask also that you would anoint my pace. Teach me to move in rhythm with you. Let me not run ahead trying to prove myself. Let me not lag behind. When you call me to step forward, let me be sensitive to your nudges, even the subtle ones. Let peace be the compass I follow. Let obedience be the path beneath my feet. Father, I give you every environment I will step into today. The conversations I anticipate, the ones I do not see coming, the work that must be done, the decisions that will arise, the tensions that may unfold. I do not want to walk into any of it unaware or unprepared. Let your oil go before me. Let it rest upon me so that even before I speak, even before I move, something of your presence is already felt. Let the places I walk become places of peace, not because I am strong, but because you are near. Let the people I encounter feel seen and heard. Let the burdens I carry not become walls but bridges. Let me live from overflow, not emptiness.
Dude.
From communion.
Dude.
Not performance. From stillness, not stress. You are teaching me that being sent does not mean being scattered. It means being placed intentionally, purposefully, with divine awareness. I do not want to miss the sacredness of what seems small. You do not overlook the quiet tasks. You do not dismiss the hidden sacrifices. What is done in secret, you reward. What is done in love, you multiply.
Dude.
Let my obedience today not be measured by results, but by faithfulness. Let me trust that even the seeds I do not see sprout are growing in your timing. Let me give without needing recognition. Let me serve without waiting for applause. Let my yes be steady, not emotional. Let my heart be anchored, not swayed by the pressures around me. Father, I also bring before you the assignments that feel too big, the places where I still feel unqualified, the opportunities that stretch me, the conversations that challenge me. Anoint me there too. Remind me that I was never meant to walk in purpose apart from presence. That boldness is not loudness, but trust in the one who speaks through me. Let me not shrink back where you are calling me to step forward. If there is correction to give, let it be wrapped in gentleness. If there is leadership to offer, let it be grounded in humility. If there is truth to speak, let it be spoken in love. You are not asking me to impress. You are asking me to reflect. And what I reflect will always depend on what I remain near. Let me remain near to you. Anoint even my interruptions. Let them not be frustrations, but redirections.
Play.
Let them become holy detours where ministry takes place in unexpected ways. You have shown me before that some of the most sacred moments are the ones I never planned. So I surrender my schedule. I surrender my need for control. I surrender my expectations. And I invite you to use this day however you choose. Let everything I do today point back to you, not by labeling it spiritual, but by infusing it with grace. Let my actions be quiet echoes of the gospel. Let my presence be a reflection of the time I have spent with you, not rushed, not empty, not performative.
Close.
Just faithful, just available, just covered in the oil of your presence. Lord, I step into this day not with fear, but with purpose, not with burden, but with trust. I carry nothing alone. I walk with you, sent by you, sustained through you. Let that truth steady every step I take. Let that awareness shape every space I enter. Let that assurance quiet every insecurity that rises. I am not starting from emptiness. I am walking in overflow. You have filled me so that I may pour. You have met me so that I may go. And I will go, not in my name, but in yours. God, as the morning unfolds and the rhythm of the day begins to stir outside my window, I find myself lingering here with you, not because I have more to say, but because I sense there is more to receive. This place, quiet, tender, full of unseen movement, has become sacred to me. You have taken me gently through so many layers. You met me in silence. You heard my cry. You poured healing into hidden places. You taught me to listen. You reminded me who I am in you. And you sent me, not as one who must strive, but as one who simply remains. Yet even now, you are not rushing me away. Your presence is not something to leave behind. It goes with me. It walks beside me, speaks within me, and steadies every step before me. I used to think prayer ended when I opened my eyes or stood to face the day. But I am learning that true communion never really ends, it only deepens. The conversation continues. The awareness follows. The oil lingers. Lord, I ask that you help me stay tender, even as the pace of the world tries to harden me. Let what has been planted here in stillness grow roots as I move through noise. Let me carry peace into places of pressure. Let me remember that silence is not empty, but filled with your voice. That waiting is not wasted, but holy ground where trust matures. And that every breath I take throughout this day can be prayer if I remain aware of you. Father, I will face things today I cannot predict. Some moments will test what I have received. Others will invite me to pour out what has been poured into me. I ask that you make me attentive, not overly cautious, not guarded,
Cuckold.
but sensitive.
Food.
Let me recognize when you are speaking through a conversation, through a delay, through a moment I would otherwise overlook. Let me carry what I received here like a quiet melody playing underneath the noise, shaping how I respond, how I pause, how I choose. Even in the moments where I forget, draw me back quickly. When urgency pulls me away, let peace be the signal that I have lost my center. When striving rises again, let grace interrupt. When fear whispers its lies, let truth answer first. And when I feel the drift, Let your spirit gently tug me back, not with shame, but with love, because what I found here is not fragile, it is enduring. What you have done in me is not momentary. It is a beginning. I want to be a person who carries presence, not performance. A person who does not just speak about peace, but exudes it. A person who makes space for others to feel safe, seen, and still. I want this intimacy with you to overflow into patience, into gentleness, into discernment that is rooted in love. Let my life be marked by evidence that I have been with you, not just in this hour, but throughout my day, not just in quiet mornings, but in ordinary moments, in laughter, in conflict, in decisions, in waiting. God, remind me often that I do not need to chase what I already carry. Your nearness is not earned by effort. It is recognized in awareness. Let my heart return here over and over, not as a task, but as a home. When the day grows long and the light begins to fade, let this be the place I remember. Not the exact words I have prayed, but the stillness, the softness, the strength that came not from striving, but from surrender. Let this posture become my default, not just a morning rhythm, but a way of being. Let me wake each day with expectancy, not anxiety.
Dude.
Let me greet the unknown not with resistance, but with trust. Let me love without fear of being unseen. Let me serve without need for applause. Let me rest without guilt. Let me return to you, not only when I am empty, but when I am full, when I am confused, when I am celebrating, when I am still searching. You are not distant. You are not hidden behind ritual or rule. You are here still, steady, soft like breath, strong like truth, gentle like morning light. I do not walk into this day alone. I walk with the one who holds all things together, who holds me together, who has never once forgotten who I am. Father, I ask that you bless those who are listening, those who have stayed through this quiet journey. Let them feel seen, not by my words, but by your Spirit. Let them know they are not alone in their questions, their longings, their unseen battles. Let them carry from this place not only encouragement but encounter, a real, living sense that you are near, and that your presence is enough for whatever this day may bring. Thank you for meeting us here. Thank you for being patient when we are distracted. Thank you for speaking when we are unsure how to pray. Thank you for teaching us that intimacy with you is not reserved for the few, but available to all who are willing to pause, to stay, to listen. May what began as a prayer become a way of life. May what felt like a whisper echo throughout every hour ahead. And as we close this time, not in spirit, but in word, I want to thank each person who has taken this journey of prayer. Thank you, dear friend, for making space in your morning to listen, to be still, to receive. If this time spoke to your heart, I invite you to share your thoughts and your own prayer below. Your words may be the encouragement someone else needs today. Please consider subscribing to this channel, sharing this video with someone who may need it, and returning often for more moments like this. Together, we can keep cultivating a rhythm of faith, one morning at a time. Let us keep building our lives around what truly sustains, not the noise, not the pressure, but the gentle presence of the one who never leaves, the one who meets us at dawn with fresh mercy, the one who walks with us through every valley and every joy, the one whose voice is still speaking, even now, even here, even in the quiet that follows this moment. Like the light slowly unfolding across the sky, like the breeze that brushes past unopened windows, like a quiet stream moving gently through hidden places, so may His presence linger with you as this new day begins.